What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Travis Scott's fourth album, Utopia. His first album since Astroworld came out 5 years ago, way back in 2018. It's been a minute. This is an album that's been teased and hyped for several years. Of course, in between these two albums, Travis Scott has been all over the tabloids, of course, with his relationships and whatnot. He, of course, was at the center of tragedy and controversy with the deaths of 10 people at his Astroworld Festival while he was performing. Seemingly, there's no criminal action to file there, but he's still in the midst of a lot of civil litigation. Even more recently, Travis Scott wanted to debut Utopia and open up, premiere it as a performance at the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt, and that was kind of controversially shut down. The communication was very interesting, where Live Nation denied it was being shut down, that it actually was being shut down. If you're interested in that story, there's a great piece telling you exactly what happened in The Fader, the politics of art in Egypt. Very interesting to read about. But yeah, check that out if you're interested. So yeah, I think people know, but Travis Scott, there's been a lot going on. Honestly, musically, since Astroworld, Travis to me has been on a bit of a downturn where the features have very rarely been memorable. Some of the loose songs that have come out since then, like Highest in the Room, which is a big hit, but we haven't really hit the highs of Travis Scott in quite some time. So I think to me there's kind of a lot riding on what this album would be, especially given all the hype that's been put on it by Travis Scott fans and even by Travis Scott himself. And Travis Scott, since Astroworld, also has really become a face of consumerism, endorsing everything from McDonald's meals to you name it. He's been around, been ubiquitous, but musically it's been quiet, and that's not just because it's been a while since albums. And so I'm been a big Travis Scott fan. Obviously first heard him back with Al Farrow, and of course the Yeezus feature way back in the day. Of course, people know. But Al Farrow and I think Days Before Rodeo really grabbed me, and of course people know how good Rodeo is when that came out. But that's we're talking 10 years ago at this point. It's been a minute, and I really didn't have expectations for Utopia. I was just hoping it would be interesting and good. Astroworld, I think, really stands out as a tremendous record, both in terms of sonic and creative cohesion, production, and vibe. And the album before that, Birds in the Trap Singing Night. Love that just because there's so many damn bangers on that one. I saw Travis Scott perform at a festival in 2018, right before Astroworld came out, and it was an absolute blast. He does, in fact, bring the rage, people know. And, I was a big fan going into Astroworld, really hyped for Astroworld, and Astroworld delivered for me. And again, since then, I kind of been waiting to know, what is Utopia going to be? What kind of rapper is Travis Scott going to be moving forward? And to me, Utopia is clearly not as good as any of the other albums. It's, I think, a middling record. It's brought down by the fact that it's very long. It just has stuff that doesn't work on it. 19 songs, 73 minutes. It's too much. But there are also some incredible highs on this, which I think speak to what people think about Travis Scott as an album artist. And Utopia also, I think, highlights, the deficiencies of Travis Scott as a rapper when everything else around him isn't quite up to snuff. Travis Scott is a tremendous live performer. We know this, but when it comes to studio music, he's a vibes guy. He's not a bar for bar rapidy rap guy. So he needs the production to be there, and he also obviously relies on big features. That's been the case his whole career. And the features, for the most part, don't really hold up to some of those big, amazing features he's had in the past. When you think of numerous features on Rodeo, like the Quavo and Bieber stand out. Of course, people remember everything on Birds in the Trap, whether it was Nav or Bryson Tiller, some bunch of bangers on that. Of course, Drake with Sicko Mode back on Astroworld. Travis has relied on collaboration. And the Utopia features, with a few exceptions, just aren't quite there, despite the name brand being there. The A-list is here on Utopia, but the music isn't quite up to that snuff. So mixed bag record for me, but there's definitely some stuff I like, and we can get into that. Starting right off the bat, you have the start, Hyena, which kind of has a fun like vocal like pitch up like flare in the beginning, and then the vibe with the beat really reminds me of like the production on New Godflow from Cruel Summer. Funny enough, I think Travis pretty solid flow on this one. The second song, Thank God, I like that one quite a bit. What's like the vocal line about goodbyes, like that's life, however it goes, like it's pretty catchy. Of course, though, we really should start with track 3, Modern Jam, featuring Tizo Touchdown. Man, Modern Jam was trending got Yeezus trending last Friday. For good reason, I think, because the bass on this, the vibe of this production will remind you of Black Skinhead, like, immediately. Travis's performance on this, very reminiscent of a Kanye flow when it comes to rapping. I thought Modern Jam was pretty awesome. It has even the lyrical deficiencies of Kanye, where Travis saying some pretty wild shit in some of those bars, but man, gets you moving. It's also pretty cool that the song is produced by Guy Manuel, of course, one of the members of Daft Punk, R.I.P. Daft Punk. I think Modern Jam is pretty special, pretty awesome, and to me, that kind of union of production and vibe and energy, that's what you want from Travis Scott, is a song like Modern Jam. The Kanye influence, though, it's pretty apparent throughout a lot of this album, but I was quite surprised by how stark the reference to Black Skinhead and Yeezus were on a song like Modern Jam. My Eyes, that song's alright. The auto-tune from Trav is just okay, but really nice, of course, vocal touch from Sampha. Whenever Sampha sings anything, I'm in, love it. God's Country's got a lot of love for the kind of the production, the transitions, the mix on it. Definitely a vibe song. Not something I was super grabbed by, but I saw a lot of love for it. Sirens is alright. And then we have Meltdown, featuring Drake. You have a lot to live up to after Sicko Mode for Travis Scott and Drake. And man, I am happy to report that Drizzy Drake delivered once again for Travis Scott. Oh my god, I love this Drake feature. Drake is just going so damn hard, aggressive, disrespectful, spewing mad negativity. This kind of locked in rapping Drake. This is what we want. This is what we need for a whole record. This was so great from him. Drake still got it, man. The flow kind of reminds me of some of the stuff off Her Loss, where like the songs where Yachty was involved. I was like, I feel like I hear the Yachty influence with the rap here. But I think it goes really hard. And Drake with his delivery, the way he goes down to a whisper, like a patter, where he's like, "You're scared of the 6, but he whispers it. Oh my god, it's so fucking hard to catch. It's so catchy. I thought it was so great. Of course, a lot's been made of what Drake's actually saying on this song, Meltdown, talking about melting down iconic Pharrell Williams chains, sending disses Pharrell and Push's way. Goddamn, we love when Drake throws the subliminals, man. Keep it going. It's a really hard extended verse from Drake. Trav got waxed once again on his own song featuring Drake. I think Travis is fine, and it's pretty fun halfway through where there's a beat switch up and Travis switches up what he's doing. But to me, the highlight of the song is going to be the Drake feature to this point. I think this is a clear hit, and it's going to stick around. Yeah, that is what I want from Drake. But it should stand out that the most impressive part about that song was not Travis Scott. That's kind of an issue sometimes with Trav. Right after that, you have Fiend featuring Playboy Cardi, which is not a song I liked. It's a rage song. Cardi's vocal delivery and switching up his performance is probably the best thing I can say about it, but I did not really care for it. Del Resto Echoes features Beyonce, but frankly doesn't do a whole lot with that. I would love to hear Beyonce on anything, but that song's just a bit of a non-entity to me. Frustrating. I Know, ? I think that beat is very alive. I love the tempo. It's kind of an energetic flow from Trav, a song without any features. bit vintage Travis Scott to me. I thought he was really locked in on that one. I think it's a bit of an underrated song on Utopia. Right after that, you have Topia Twins featuring Rob 49 and 21 Savage. That shit goes hard. That's a banger. Rob 49 really making the most of this look here. Sounds great. Ryman 21, Ryman Glizzy, and Busy. Just the vibe shift, too, from I Know into Topia Twins is so damn stark. I also love 21 talking about x-rays and CAT scans. You can ask his op about those. Like, it's just hilarious way to rap about something 21, of course, raps about all the time. Love it. The next song is Circus Maximus, which is the name of a short film that released in theaters from Travis Scott in A24 in the lead up to this album, featuring The Weeknd and Sway Lee. And I think the beat's probably the most interesting thing about this. Notably, this also reminded me of Black Skinhead specifically, the second song after Modern Jam, to remind me of a specific moment on Yeezus. And I guess the most interesting thing about this is probably the beat. It's like, oh, that's what The Weeknd would sound like if he was on a Yeezus beat. Overall, though, I don't really love the song or anything. Parasail, Young Lean, and Dave Chappelle, kind of a miss for me. Although I love the look of giving Lean a feature here, but I don't know, it doesn't really make an impression for me. Schizo, featuring Young Thug. I thought that was pretty great. The beat drum, the beat is great. The drum kicks hit really good. Nice flow from Travis. Love the flow switch up. Thought that was pretty good, pretty hard. Lost Forever, like the flow from Travis once again. Honestly, he's kind of a nice compliment to Westside Gunn. Obviously, Westside Gunn, a much stronger rapper than Travis Scott, but they actually fit each other kind of well on that. I was surprised. The Cudi song, Love, Just Okay. Man, the track 17, one of the singles, K-pop, Travis Scott, Bad Bunny, The Weeknd. Obviously, putting all those three together, it's a play at a hit. Play for streams, play for the popularity of all the people involved. Of course, the Bad Bunny, the most popular artist in the world. The Weeknd, the number one artist on Spotify. Travis Scott, still a very, very popular artist, even in a 5-year wait between albums. Even named the song K-pop to get some passive SEO streaming. It's very transparent about what that song was supposed to be. And a song with Travis Scott, The Weeknd, and Bad Bunny should not be as much of a snooze as it is. I think the song stinks. It's going to be a hit, but who cares? It's a bad song. Very disappointing. After that, we have Telekinesis, featuring SZA and Future. Future not bad in the rapping. SZA, obviously, we love hearing her. Song's okay. And then the last song, Till Further Notice, featuring James Blake and 21 Savage once again. I like the flow switch up from Travis at the end. I think it's a nice closer. Overall, though, I think this album was way too long. And if we had really parsed it down to just those highlights, it'd be really something, But ultimately, I think when you stick around as long as this album does, you don't have quite the sonic cohesion and locked-in production the way Astroworld did. The cracks start to show a little bit, whether that's, I guess kind of exposing some of the deficiencies you can get from a guy like Travis, who, as people know, came up as a producer first, not a rapper. So, despite all that, though, I think the songs you like you can take away from this and quite enjoy, and it's nice to have Travis Scott's music back on our lives. It's been a minute. Obviously, I still hope that all those suits go through, and I'd imagine Live Nation and Travis Scott will either lose those suits or settle them. We'll see what happens, but I don't think he'll ever be performing in Egypt again. Read that Fader article, very interesting. And yeah, this also will be a number one album, and I have a good feeling about Meltdown perhaps going number one on the Hot 100 as well. That'll do nice to kind of quiet down all the concern trolling people have done about hip hop this year, and the fact that there hasn't been any number ones yet, despite the fact that hip hop is everywhere in all genres of music and everything is hip hop now. No one wants to talk about that part though. They just like to say that rap sucks. So even if I didn't totally love Utopia, there's stuff to like about this, and also it's going to be big. And you know what? It's okay that we have a blockbuster album that's not the most amazing thing ever, but it's fun to have a blockbuster sometimes. So that's Travis Scott's Utopia, 5 years in the making. Let me know, what did you think about Utopia? How would you compare it to the past Travis albums? What's your favorite song on the album? And for more rap reviews and more music reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.